So, today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting here. We're going to be walking down to the brook path, and we're going to walk along as far as we can. This section along here of the brook path is fairly well completed at this point. This section down here, they're just starting on. They're doing a lot of work on drainage down here at the end around Dover Road. But we'll see some of the work that's in progress and some of it that has been completed. So, any questions? Yeah.
Why are they cutting all the trees down?
Well, they are cutting trees. Mainly, they're Norway maple trees. And they're invasive trees. You know, they provide a lot of shade, very dense shade.
It's sad to see them go.
It's sad to see them go. I have a humongous one that I'm planning to take down in my yard because of all the problems. The root system is very shallow, and it really sucks up a lot of the water and everything, and it doesn't let anything else grow.
Are they replanting?
They are replanting. They're putting out new trees in.
Do you know what they're putting in?
Because
it's just so sad to see all the trees gone. You know?
Well, they're trying to be selective about taking the trees out there. We'll open up some of the tree canopy that we're used to, but the goal is to plant more native species, oaks and other native trees that will replace these Norway maples, which are from Norway,
right.
And were brought in the 1930s because somebody thought they looked pretty in the park, but they kind of ran away with the whole park ecosystem with their very intense root system, which competes with all the other species. This is a major construction feature of the park. The stream takes quite a sharp bend here. The stream takes a sharp bend, and it was causing erosion of the far bank. Right now it looks kind of strange because the structural items on the other side are called coir logs. They are organic material wrapped in a burlap netting, which will eventually degrade, and it will all form a uniform bank over there. And there are live stakes, that is the beginnings of shrubs, inserted in all the coir logs. And what you will end up with is a shrubby bank. You'll also notice root balls from fallen trees. Those also look kind of conspicuous, but they will eventually blend in with that shrubby landscape, and their purpose is to break up again that water flow which causes erosion, and also to provide mini habitats for different kinds of wildlife. You will see them all through the project. They are using these root balls to slow down the stream flow. And all that is meant to encourage many communities of wildlife to inhabit there, and to keep the water flowing at a rate that will not cause erosion. The black plastic is another unattractive feature of the current construction, but if some of you may have done this in your yard, to spread plastic to eliminate unwanted plants and weeds. That particular bank was full of a plant called knotweed, which is very vigorous and very invasive. And knotweed is almost impossible to remove completely, but you can control it by first killing it back as far as you can using this plastic, which will be in place for a year or more. But once you've done that, you've got a real big head start on controlling that invasive weed. While we're here, these beautiful bridges were built in the early 1930s. They were designed by the town engineer. Here you see some more bank control. You'll see these burlap mats everywhere, and that is a good example of a coir log, you get a good close-up look at it. It has soil and organic material wrapped in a burlap covering, and that will eventually just kind of melt away and become a very natural-looking stream bank.
This is Colts.
It takes several years, really. It will be a gradual process. You will notice the vegetation coming in. These don't appear to have plant stakes in them like the other one, but there will be vegetation that grows in there, and again, we have some nice accent shrubs planted, and each one of those is getting tender, loving care from the crews from the Department of Public Works are coming around and filling every one of those water wells. If we hit a spell of dry weather, it's getting cared for like your front yard.
Is the water quality good? It looks like it's an invitation to come and wade in a way, but I don't know what the water quality is like.
Yeah,
Well, these steps were installed we're near the school, and these steps were installed to give the students access to come down and get a close look at what's in the water, sample it, take it back to the science lab.
well, this is Cold Spring Brook right here, and Cold Spring Brook feeds from the duck pond over by Town Hall. So there is a lot of duck pollution from the stream. But the headwater for Cold Spring Brook is up at Route 9. It's a Cold Spring Brook Sanctuary, which is up around the Spike School.
And you got a trail there, right?
Excuse me?
Did you have a trail at the Cold Spring Brook Sanctuary?
No, it's pretty wet in there.
Okay.
And there's no. It's something that's owned by the Wellesley Conservation Council.
Right.
And you'll see that this is usually clear. FullerBrook will not be. And you can see, in the springtime, the difference in coloration of the two streams.
Here again, the path was rerouted, and they are using a hard surface. The reason for both the change in route and the hard surface was to decrease the angle so that handicapped persons can more easily negotiate the path at this point. Previously, the path approached in a straight line and then went up a steep slope to the street. So we just put a little extra curve in it and a hard surface to accommodate wheels. And the way they built basically what is what they call a revetment wall to reinforce the bank. It's also a retaining wall to hold the expanded surface that we created here. And you can see the burlap fabric is already breaking down. You can see it was used to stabilize the bank when this was done just 3 or 4 months ago.
Wow, that's good.
And then they planted grass and with the burlap to hold the bank until the grass established, and you're already starting to see the burlap melting away.
So I just want to stop here because this is a new path that was just put in the last week or so along the edge of the parking lot. We're still having problems with cars parking with their bumpers over the curb, and we're trying to fix that with various different ideas. So this is a skating pond, has been renamed to Skate Street Pond by somebody, and it was all dredged out and cleaned up, and now it's a very, very picturesque view of the pond there. And this is all pervious surface here, so water can actually drain through this parking lot.
And they've created a lovely little vista here with a bench.
Oh, look at the duck.
This is the tree that drops the snow.
Oh, there you go. Okay. That.
Make way for ducklings.
All right. Okay. Well, that bench is left over from the steps project we saw before, from the school down to the stream. They had an extra step, so they made a bench out of it for looking down the length of the pond. It's a nice vista point there. I'll just mention that we're at a junction of two brooks here. FullerBrook approaches from the south. Over there, passes just this side of the high school, and it flows in a channel there, and right over there on the service road, it goes underground underneath these athletic fields. Comes out where we just were, where you saw it exiting a culvert and going into the skating pond. Coming in from our left is Caroline Brook, and the FullerBrook path actually follows Caroline Brook on up to Maugus Avenue.
You know, the reason that this park was put in place back in the early 1900s was because of all of the problems with traffic jams on Washington Street with horse-drawn carriages. So, you know, traffic problems on Washington Street are not new, folks. They've been going on for the last, 100 years. So.
The FullerBrook Park started in 1897 with a consultation with the landscape design firm of Frederick Law Olmsted. Mr. Olmsted was no longer living, and the firm was run by his nephew, John Charles Olmsted. Mr. Olmsted Jr. came to Wellesley and looked at the stream here and made a report indicating he thought a park ought to begin at Dover Road and end at Maugus Avenue, and that is what we now have. He did not go on to design the park. The park was designed by many people over a period of decades as they acquired the different parcels of land. So it is what they call a vernacular park in that it is not the work of any one person. It is in that Olmsted spirit. It is intended to provide a little natural getaway in the middle of a more urbanized area, which was the whole ethos behind the Olmsted Parks movement. The people who were around when Wellesley became a town on its own in 1881 had a lot of visions for the town, and they were responsible for a lot of things that are distinctive about Wellesley, such as the appearance of Wellesley Hills and the many stone buildings there. Isaac Sprague, a famous citizen of the town, contributed a great deal of stone from his own quarries to give Wellesley Hills that appearance. This is all the kind of pavement that water can pass through, and so it gradually filters into the brook instead of washing surface materials straight into the brook.